Thank you so much, Frida, for your presentation. And now let's welcome our ninth participant, Julia, from the Lycée des Garçons Luxembourg, who is going to present her project, Cosmic Compassion, exploring the impact of a cosmic perspective on a compassion and societal attitudes. Her work consists in investigating the impact of adopting a cosmic perspective on compassion, prosocial tendencies, and societal attitudes. Let's find out more from her.
Hello, so today I would like to explore with you the impact of a cosmic perspective on the way we feel towards other human beings, as well as our attitude towards societal issues. And to start, I would like to invite all of you, dear judges, as well as dear participants, to a thought experience, so everybody really understands what I mean when I say a cosmic perspective. It's easier if you close your eyes, but it's how you want. So, I would like you to imagine yourself right now, sitting on your chair. And I would like you to zoom out mentally until you see this building from the outside. And then I would like you to zoom out further until you can see the city, the Europe, the whole planet. And then to go even further until you see the whole solar system, the Milky Way, and maybe even the whole universe. And now I'm asking you, how do you feel? Do you feel small and insignificant? Or do you feel connected to the people around you and are in awe of who we are on this planet? This is exactly what I asked myself a few months ago, which is why I chose to explore this impact of this cosmic perspective that it could have on the way we feel towards each other, and if it could maybe even change the way we see societal issues, like, for example, climate change or poverty. Before I started my project, I did a bit of research that has been done before about the impact of this cosmic perspective. And I found studies that found a very positive impact of the cosmic perspective on human feelings, as well as studies that found a very negative impact. But there were also studies that found actually both impacts, which is why I have the hypothesis that a cosmic perspective can have whether a positive impact or a negative impact on the way we feel towards each other. And to explore this hypothesis, I did a study for which I recruited 32 participants among my friends, family, and teachers. And then, in my study design, I randomly assigned all of these people to two different groups. One time the experimental group, and one time the control group. Then I let all of the participants, so from both groups, take a questionnaire, which served as a baseline assessment of their compassion levels, as well as their attitude towards societal issues. An example of this questionnaire you can see here. So there were different statements that you had to evaluate from 1, strongly disagree, to 5, strongly agree, to measure your compassion levels as well as the other values mentioned. Additionally to these questionnaires, I asked the participants different values, such as their gender, age, as well as educational level and interest in cosmic subjects, to later on maybe look at for correlational factors between the potential rays. After this first questionnaire, I exposed the experimental group to a cosmic perspective in the form of a YouTube video that showed different cosmic phenomena and our place in the universe compared to its size. The control group, on the other hand, I showed a neutral video, in this case about the biology of an octopus. After this exposure, I let all of the participants from both groups retake their first questionnaire to reassess their compassion levels as well as their attitude towards societal issues. After that, I compared the first questionnaire and the second questionnaire from both groups to look at the impact the exposure to a cosmic perspective had on the different participants. And what I found is very interesting because the control group had a raise in 1.5% compassion and societal attitude values, whereas the experimental group had a 5.6% raise in the values I measured, which you can see here, the difference between the first questionnaire and the second one. And what I found while comparing the additional values I ask the participants is that young students with a high school degree or less who had a high interest in cosmic topics were actually the ones who were most responsive to a cosmic perspective and who had the highest raise in compassion values and a positive impact on their attitude towards societal issues. And to determine if my results were significant, to sum the theoretical stuff up, I found that the raise in values of the experimental group was very significant, whereas the raise of the control group was insignificant and can be neglected as a consequence. This is why I can draw the conclusion that a cosmic perspective actually has a positive increasing impact on compassion values and our attitude towards societal issues, with the most significant increase that I found among young students with high interest in cosmic topics. A practical application of this could be to integrate a cosmic perspective into the educational syllabus, because there you have students who are young, who are motivated and interested in different topics, who would be most responsive to this cosmic perspective. There were also several limitations in my project, which limit the generalizability due to, for example, the familiarity of the participants with me, the researcher. However, there are a lot of future questions I could ask. The two most important ones are, since my work is very theoretical until now, if there could actually be observed a practical change in the behavior of people caused by this cosmic perspective, as well as what would be the potential long-term effects of adopting a cosmic perspective on the way we feel towards each other. And these two questions could be combined into what I said earlier, the theoretical integrating of a cosmic perspective into the educational syllabus. Because there you have, as I said earlier, the students who are young, who are most responsive, and it could be a long-term study. Especially in times where conflicts like the one in Ukraine and Israel-Palestine, as well as climate change, are predominant in the headlines, I think it is very interesting to explore the impact a cosmic perspective could have on the way we feel towards each other, and maybe even help in solving and tackling these problems. Thank you.
Hi, Julia.
Hello.
Welcome to our studio. So you're one of the new kids on the block, first participation, and you're already sitting there in the top 10 couch. How'd you feel?
I feel very excited because actually I decided about 4 months ago to actually participate. So I'm very happy I did go through with my plan and that I'm sitting here now, and I'm very happy I participated in this project.
So I know you are a physicist by heart, or astrophysicist, and somehow you turned into a social scientist for good. Could you tell us a little bit more about the genesis of the project, how you came to that idea and why?
Actually, at the beginning, I wanted to do a more physics-related expert, but since I'm also very interested in psychology, I decided to do a project that involves both at some point. And since when you're interested in astrophysics, you start thinking, what is our place in the universe? And what is the meaning of all of this, perhaps? And if you're confronted with the news from time to time, you see there's a lot of things going wrong in the world. And I thought maybe the fact that we know what our place in the universe is could influence the way we see those topics and maybe even solve them to some extent.
Yeah, well, it is a very, very interesting combination, I feel like. And I was also wondering, when you did your presentation now, do you have any idea about the mechanism that could lie behind, like the reason why this cosmic awareness might have an effect on our behavior?
Well, the cosmic perspective in the beginning, it relativates your place in this world. So, especially in Western societies, I think that the focus is really on the individual, and it makes us lonely to some extent and disconnected from our environment and fellow human beings. So I think this visualization of the place we are in and the fact that we are all together as humanity on this one planet compared to an unimaginable space really makes us more feel interconnected because we're all on this together, and maybe we should solve our problems together as well.
Now, do you think there's also a perfect dose of cosmic awareness? Because I've heard about an effect called overview effect that some astronauts experience after being in space and seeing the Earth from space perspective, that makes them feel a bit like, that what we do on Earth actually doesn't matter, and what is the point of everything? And they were more like negative feelings. Have you heard about this effect?
Yes, I have indeed, but the thing is, as a background research for my project, I looked into a lot of studies that were about the effects of the cosmic perspective, and there were studies who actually found a very positive impact on the human mind, as well as studies that had a very negative impact on the human mind, but there were also studies who had both. So there's a bit of everything, but I think especially in a long-term experiment, you could really see if there is a critical point where really the interconnected feeling turns into existential distress, for example. So that would be really interesting to investigate.
A lot to explore, indeed.
Do you think your study would have been just as conclusive if you've used not astrophysics videos, but say biology video, evolution biology, showing that human beings are just cousins of all the living creatures on Earth, etc.?
Actually, in the videos I showed the experimental group, to some extent there is the biology factor included, but it's a minor. It's like 1 minute of 20 minutes. But I think focusing only on this biological aspect would kind of take the relative effect away. So we only know, okay, we're on this planet together and if there's evolution from this to that. But it's not like the space relativation. So I think that would be a key aspect that would be missing.
Now it's your last year, right, of high school. What you're going to do next?
Well, I'm going to study physics next year in Aachen, in Germany. And later I will decide if I would like to continue into astrophysics or quantum physics, perhaps, but that is not decided yet.
Well, we're very curious, and we wish you the best of luck. Thank you, Julia, and congratulations.